Well, Kenny, one would assume more of the same tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's a really good win for us against a good MK Don side that have been on a good run, and we overcome it very well. Worked hard, and we had to work hard to do it. But pleased with the win, delighted to sort of bounce back, if you like. And we've got to follow it up on Friday night as well. We really concentrate on this game, work as hard as we can, bring the crowd into play, and basically then see if we can get forward and get more goals.
Rochdale will come to play football if they're anything like they were at home. Will that suit you?
It's a very distinctive style, definitely, and very organised as well. And as MK Dons were, definitely. But we'll be obviously respectful of Rochdale, working hard at what they do to try to break us down and create chances themselves. Defensively, we'll have to, be making sure we're at our best and concentrating hard as well in terms of the decisions we make. We won't be able to be sloppy in defence, but after that, get our final pass right, make sure we get our quality, just keep working at our game, concentrate on the things that we're good at, and make sure that we can keep the momentum now going forward, because we need a run. We need a really good run. There's still, I think, realistically, 9 teams that could get into the top 6. Maybe that's being a little bit harsh on Gillingham at 10th as well. It'll be interesting whether they can still get there, but it's around about that number, 9, 10, 11, and they all have a chance, and the points total is obviously really close. So you're looking at maybe 9 points between the top 9 with a dozen games to go, 36 points to play. So a lot of twists and turns, a lot can happen, but an opportunity for us, and we have to be right on it and make sure that our concentration, our work rate, our energy levels, our brightness mentally in terms of decisions, and having enough spark, they're really big things to make the difference in tight games.
Does it slightly surprise you that teams like MK Dons and Rochdale are where they are in the league?
Very much depends on everything that you look at in terms of a game of football. In the end, you need to keep clean sheets and you need to score goals, and the balance sometimes swings slightly more to the middle of the pitch, but the middle of the pitch can help you at either end, but it can't actually win you a game. It's either end that wins you a game, but some dominance in the middle of the pitch does definitely help you impose yourself on both ends, and it is getting that balance. So while some sides can maybe catch the eye, being effective is obviously the old basic of scoring and not conceding. That's the main thing. But you have to always respect every club and their different ways, and also there's sort of, we have a very good home record, but there's many managers say, yeah, we played really well at Fratton Park. It's a free game. It's an easy game for people to play, and people do generally raise their game. It's a different game, and that's not anything against us. We're good enough to good enough to overcome that. But it's a different game when it's at Fratton Park, and when it's against the likes of Portsmouth and Sunderland. It's a different type of game, and there's a big atmosphere, and it can raise people, and so for us anyway, we know we have to overcome that and be good enough to mentally understand what's going on, overcome it, produce the quality, and then ultimately the other night score the goals, get the finishing that makes a difference.
Andy Cannon came back and he was all we knew he would be. How much, to a degree, have you got to protect him over the next few weeks?
Yeah, I think his output, his energy is really high, and his running stats are off the wall. There's 2 or 3 players and that are really high, and he's one of them. And it's all sort of constant change in direction as well. You get some players, maybe a winger or a fullback, they get a lot of straight line running, so it's a little bit easier. But for Andy anyway, in the position he plays, which is obviously the number 10 position, he changes direction a lot, and so puts a lot into his game, and visibly see when he goes. Yeah. But also he's a big player for us. He's really a young player, like Marcus Harness as well. I think a young player with a really good future, and for him to play every single game in all of the minutes, I think that would be difficult, to be honest with you. But similarly, for the time he plays, he can make a big impact. We saw at Bolton earlier on, before he got injured, he came on and changed the game for us, and we wouldn't have won that game if it wouldn't have been for him. So, we do think he's a key player. He's got a really good future, and we don't want him running out of energy. We don't want him getting injured, but if we can keep him fit for this running, I think he can make a big impact. He certainly did the other night, and congratulations to him as well, getting his first goal for the club.
Yeah, because he looked to take a nasty knock at one stage.
He did. He wasn't too happy about it, but that's how it is in terms of ball players, and you have to be resilient enough to get up and go for it.
Yeah, that first goal, it might have been easy for him, but you had to harry them into the mistake once they'd made it, didn't you? And Ryan Williams in particular was very insightful to take that ball round.
Yeah, we try to set some traps if we can, but also then, you have to execute it and get the goals. But, for Andy anyway, although it was a simple goal, it was a big one because obviously his first one. And from that position, he'll be wanting to score goals, he'll be wanting assists. And as much as all of the work he does in terms of closing down, creatively, you do want those sort of stats against your name to give you the confidence. So for him, it's a good breakthrough. His first goal for the club, which, as I said, congratulations to him.
Must be delighted with Lee Brown coming back into the fold as well.
Yeah, he's quite a big personality for us, and he had a good game. A big part of our play is going from that area, and he did it particularly as the second half wore on, more and more. Been a frustrating season for him, and obviously, we have Brandon Houndstrup, and Seddon on loan, so it's a good position for us.
5 changes and not too much disruption, and is that presumably what you're aiming for?
Well, when we can't play all the games that we're playing and play the same team, it's just pretty obvious. And energy levels are not going to be the same. So I thought after Fleetwood, where we tried our best, but we didn't have any spark, we didn't have any energy, and we want our usual selves. So the changes needed to be made on Tuesday, and that might be the case on Friday, it might be the case on Monday, it might be the case, obviously, Saturday, Peterborough, and then Fleetwood after that. But similarly, the system doesn't change. For us, it's 4-3-3 point up or down, and the players know the system and can fit into it, and that's more important really in terms of knowing what your jobs are.
Then on Saturday morning, obviously prepare for the big one.
Yeah, it is, but our big one is Rochdale, and Arsenal, we feel, will look after itself in terms of momentum. Our big one is Rochdale, and then it will be obviously Peterborough and Fleetwood who are in the mix with us. So anyway, they're all big games, they're great games, and ones that we should look forward to. We have a squad that can cope as well, that's the important thing.
Any injuries to speak of?
No, we are expecting Ellis Harrison to be back. He's trained today, this morning, which is good news, full training. So we are expecting him to be available for Friday night, which is a good one for us.